Come see me live in Austin, Texas on June 6th and 7th. I will be at the Velveeta Room. Please come see the shows. You can get your tickets now at thevelveetaroom.com. Thank you. Here's the episode. Swipe, that didn't happen. Welcome back to another episode of Discombobulated. Welcome back to another show that doesn't matter. Welcome back to a show from a psycho. Welcome back to a show ain't about shit. It's kind of like if Seinfeld was worse and a podcast. Was it worse than Seinfeld? I don't know. I've never seen Seinfeld. Of course I've seen Seinfeld. Duh. If you haven't seen Seinfeld, you're definitely not a redneck. Oh my God. Oh my God damn. How are you? Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome. My dad used to like sing that song while in the car, like he wrote it. Do you guys have dads like that? That they would. My dad used to. I 100% thought my dad wrote the Metallica song. What's the one where is it one where in the middle they're like, now I lay me down to sleep. Now I lay me down to sleep. That was my first connection with my dad was through music, and I feel like that's how most people are. If you grew up in not the South, but if someone asked you where you were from, you would say the South. Because that's what everyone would say, because that's where they want to be from. You ever met someone from the top of Texas? They think they're from the middle of Texas. Like as soon as you cross the border at the top where there's that sliver of Texas, that's like, oh, it looks like their collarbone got popped out of place. When you drive through that, as soon as you stop, people literally like got gas and it's like, yeehaw, you're at Gas City or whatever. I went inside and the lady was like, so I just got done roping cattle. I pump what? Well, the pumps are cattle. And you have to milk it yourself. Oh, you're not used to milking your own gas? City slicker. City slicker. What a shit slur. Hey. I'm not that slick in the city. I've been robbed. So, you better get your shit together before you shit talk me. But, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like most people only relate. Did I hear a beer open, or was that just me sitting backwards and my back cracked? It sounded like a can of Lone Star. That's the beer down here, in case you're wondering. The beer everyone drinks down here looks like it's the beer from fucking The Simpsons. It looks like Duff beer. You're like, is that for a cartoon? They're like, no, this is real beer. It's blue. It says Lone Star. There's a star on it. There's nothing else on it. There's no nutritional facts. You go to look for nutritional facts, and it's like, what are you, a fucking? It's not good. It goes, get out of here with looking for nutritional facts. They go, you're a nutritional fact. What is that? Oh, it's the rain outside. Sorry, it's raining here. Sorry, it's raining here? What? What am I talking? I gotta stop. I think I'm gonna stop. I gotta stop saying sorry. Like, I think, like, I'm such a people pleaser. And I saw a tweet the other day that was so perfect. It's like, oh, you're a people pleaser. How many people are pleased with you? But I was with my buddy Joe and I broke my arm. And when I broke my arm, he started freaking out. You know, all due respect, he cares about me. I'm not shitting on, I'm being like, he was, I'm not like, he was freaking out. He was just like, what the fuck? And I go, Joe, are you okay? And he goes, he's asking if I'm okay. Like, I broke my arm and I was like, are you okay? And then he goes, is your arm broken? I go, let me check. And I remember I touched it and I was like, 100%. And yeah, and then we took an Uber. We took an Uber to the hospital. Story for another day. How was your Super Bowl Sunday? The thing that we all celebrate and is everyone has fun and no one gets in arguments, and it's almost as if is that our Christmas? And if so, I'm skipping it also. But still, isn't it better you like choose the friends you want to be around? You get to pick the food you have. You don't like have to make turkey. And it's like because then Thanksgiving, you're like your family's like I think my family they came over here on the Mayflower. It's like we all somehow came over on the Mayflower, which means we're like all sisters or whatever. And so we on Thanksgiving it's like you're like we got to do this, and then Christmas you're like we got to do this, and even New Year's a little bit is kind of like we have to do this because it's kind of like. It's like Valentine's Day is like with your love, but like New Year's Eve is like whoever you can find to love. Like New Year's Eve is like a little like, it's always a little scandalous, you know? I don't know. New Year's Eve, I don't really trust. Like every year on New Year's Eve, because everyone's like right before they're like, I'm going to be a different person. And then as soon as it's over, they're like, oh fuck, I actually feel worse than I did before. It's what if I should start planning that just to be like, what are your goals next year? I'm like, to have less. And people are like, well, that's not smart. I'm like, I'm already doing better. You just start buying beers. You're like, no one's better than me this new year. Do you want to be better than everybody this new year? Then listen to Bob. But who gives a shit? Yeah. How was the Super Bowl? It's fun. The Super Bowl is fun. I really don't care. Like I wasn't really for like either team. I do I like watching a game whenever like, I don't even care. I kind of like root for whoever is like down. Do you know what I mean? Like at the beginning, it's like, oh, okay, well, everyone kind of like, it kind of seems like Kansas City was favored. I don't know. And then, so you're like, well, let's go Philly. And then they start getting this huge, like monstrous, score. I played football, but I still don't talk like that. You don't have to. There's no rules on talking about football. You can say feet. You don't have to say yards. You do have to know how to convert it, but yeah. And so it's just like, it's something that I was like, I guess I should watch it. I don't know. You kind of like want to watch it. So I'll watch it for a little bit, but then it's like, it's the best to not be invested. It's the only one where you're like not invested. Cause you're like, yeah, I'm not like, I didn't play. Even if you played football, you're like, I don't care. I just don't. It's hard for me to get really invested while I'm watching a game of football. I can get really invested while watching skateboarding, but it's like, I guess we all have our things we like to watch. But also, I don't watch skateboarding like, this fucking idiot. Oh, you couldn't do a thing I couldn't do perfectly? You fucking idiot. I never understood that. My dad, I remember, would like watch football, and I was always just like, I don't feel like that. Like, I think when I was a kid, I was probably like non-binary or something, but like I grew into myself. I grew into Bobby, but I was like, when I was a kid, I was like, well, I don't really feel like that. I don't feel like that. So my dad, he'd be like, catch the fucking ball. And it's like, for one, that's like, duh. Like, it's like... And it's like, what you didn't even get close to that. It's like I've been on stage, and if you're a comic, this has happened where it's like you're doing good. Like you're doing good, but the audience just isn't like on your side. Like you can just tell you didn't do great. The audience just like isn't on your side. But every once in a while, there's some guy that's like, you're doing great, buddy. And you're like, yeah, I know. I do this all the time, and it's like you'll watch a receiver drop it, and everyone's like, "Yeah, fucking idiot!" It's like you can't do that, What the heck in hell am I talking about? But yeah, so I did like watching the Super. I felt like who cares about if you liked it or didn't like it or whatever? Because it's like if you didn't like it, like there's times I don't like this. There's so many times I don't like. So many things I don't like at the Super. Which one didn't I like? I'm trying to think. I don't know. It's always just like fun to watch. I'm not really good at shitting on things because I can't like think specifically what I don't like about them or whatever. But I think whenever the whole audience like knew to say like A minor, like that was so cool. And I know it's already been 24 hours and everyone already like whatever, but I've never really liked Drake. I feel like I'm so good at guessing who is good and not. I really got to start listening to my gut, because all my friends when I was growing up, it's like, you don't like Kanye? I'm like, I just not really. I don't know. I don't really like. I don't know. And then it's like, and then I did get into Kendrick. I like Vince Staples, but there's so many guys that later people are like, oh, that guy, like, yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, I knew the songs of P. Diddy that other people knew, but I wasn't like, I can't even think of it. What's a P. Diddy song? I don't care. My whole point is no points. But the football game was just fun to watch. And it was weird, everyone booing Taylor Swift. I don't know. I just don't like, it's hard to, I don't shit on things. And maybe, I don't know. It's like, isn't that way more of a loser thing to do, to watch like, it's like, because like you watch it's like a little girl just like had a guitar and had this dream. And then she does what every little girl in their room is like, you know what I mean? Like, because even as a little boy, we would do it. My little brother, I would watch him like sing Shania Twain top of his lungs. I'm doing the same thing too. My dad's listening to Cher. We're all a little bit of a pop star in our head, you know? And that girl did it. And then like, tell me about it, stud. Like dates like the football player that's in the Super Bowl all the time. She's in they live in arenas. Like they have to go home from their arenas to their small fucking mansions compared to the arena. I don't know. Honestly, are they big? I don't know. But so they go back and it's like, she's just at the game and they just show her. Can you, like, she's so fucking famous. She's so unbelievably famous that everyone booing her is like what people did to like troll. It's like, that's the world we live in now, where we just troll. It's you are either like the underdog and like if that would happen for the Philadelphia Eagles if they win 2 more times in a row, and then Hurts is at the game. I learned a couple. I'm like I'm like the cool girlfriend I'm like, I learned JJ or that's JJ. Jalen, right? Okay, so I just fucked everything up. But if he was at the game and then like waved and everyone was like, boo. All she did was follow her dreams. And it's going really well for her and people boo her. And then they'll like, they'll show like a drunk guy like shaking his belly and everyone's like, ah! And it's like, just try it. Why can't we try them both? Why do people in the back of their head, like, they're like, we gotta shit on something. Something must be shat upon. That's why, like, go to any, I can't even imagine what maybe it's different there because everyone like can afford $8,000 tickets or whatever. But go to a sporting event, like everyone's pissing everywhere but in the toilet. Everyone's missing. So, you know, everyone's just trash. It's just weird. Like, it takes a lot for me to be like, I really didn't like that. So, I don't know. It was just fun to watch. And then, yeah, dude, the halftime, that was just so cool. Did anyone else? I was just like, was that fucking Serena really? Serena Williams? Because it was so quick. You were like, I think that was, but how did he get her to do that? Like, and then it's like, because I don't know, because I don't follow Drake. I didn't even know about it when he was on Degrassi, because I didn't have cable growing up. And so I didn't know he was on a Canadian show. Everyone's like, you didn't watch Degrassi? I'm like, no. It's crazy. So, yeah, I thought it was cool. I'm a big fan of Kendrick. I just think he's awesome. I like, and then like everyone was like, afterwards, it's so fun. Like people go through it like a Marvel movie and just, they're like, What's crazy is that there was a guy who actually went to high school with him who was actually part of what you're supposed to notice because you forget about people. And you're like, what? Everything's a video game controller. And you're like, I just thought it was really cool. Am I too much of a simple man, or is that okay to do? Like, even how I watch the football game. Like, honestly, like, things have to kind of be told to us now. Because, like, I was watching it and I was like, man, I kind of like how this looks. And everyone's like, the scoreboard looks like fucking shit because it's just the number with a color there. And before it was like, you know, it's like has like a big logo and it's like got all these like different fading colors and all this stuff. And yeah, I just was like, oh, that looks simple and cool. And the next day it was like, fucking sucks. Look what it used to look like. And I was like, oh, I guess it did look good. I think that's what you probably, I needed to take more classes on like persuasive essays. Cause like I'm easily persuaded. Like someone will tell me something. I'm like, great point. And then someone will tell me something else. I'm like, fucking also great point. Maybe it's because I don't care about anything. I mean, I care about how people are treated and all that stuff, but people care more about like the Eagles for sure than like how people are treated. People are like, you don't get it. They shouldn't have. I can't believe they traded that guy. Walks over a homeless person that's like shaking. You don't get it. The contract fucked him by millions of dollars. Farts, homeless person sitting right there. It's just that's the world we live in. I saw it the other day. I saw it happen, and I'm not even gonna. There's just so many times you watch people be like, "This is what I would do if something happens," and instead everyone just freezes, and you're like, "Nuh-uh." Okay, well, because you're living in your imagination. That's what you think, but that's not the truth. But, oh, dude. So this year, the Super Bowl was in New Orleans. And here's what was crazy is, do you know that there's like, if you're watching the football game, you know, whenever they cut back and they're like, we're cutting back to the Football Association game by football. And there's like the Transformers robot. His name's Cletus. And he's a real person. He's a robot, but I don't know if you guys know this. His name's Cletus. I didn't know that because I was like, what's this guy's name? Because I was trying to look it up and I couldn't find it. But did you guys notice that he was doing it in New Orleans? And he had robot beads. And during commercial, they're like, back to the football game. And he, like as a transition, throws beads. Which had me wondering, was he throwing beads to robot tits? Or was he throwing it to real tits in Nolans? Like, was Cletus out there partying and do real tits because people created Cletus? Does he like real tits? Or does he like the fake tits because he's a robot? You know? Like, we have people who are like, this is my wife and she's a robot, but the outside looks like a human. So what if you were a human dressed like a robot? That would probably get Cletus off, right? The football player robot, that would probably get him off, right? And I was just thinking about this because he was tossing beads during the Super Bowl. I wonder who I'll tell you what, I don't really understand how tariffs works. I don't really understand how, like, honestly, most things work. But the exchange rate for beads to tits has not changed at all. OnlyFans did not change that denomination, the exchange rate. It's pretty universal. Beads for tits. I've seen it happen. St. Louis Mardi Gras, you know, I've been out while people were making the weirdest cake ever. They're like, there's a baby in there. I'm like, why? So yeah, the exchange rate on that has not changed at all. And yeah. When I was a kid, I just remembered this. I had like my mirror, you know, it's like I just had like a mirror like on my dresser, and hanging off both sides was like as many beads as I could get. Because I think when you were a kid, you were like, oh, I'm gonna save these up. I'm going to save up all my beads. And then I'm going to go to Mardi Gras. I'm going to go to Mardi Gras in roughly 6 years with all my beads. And yes, lays. I'm wondering if the lays you get from the dollar store, how those work. I'm not picturing how I'll toss them, but maybe those would be like ground floor level tits. But for the people that I'm tossing them to, I was like saving them. And then like the beads would start to rub off and I'd literally be like, I think I'd be upset. Like if when I toss them, they're like, these are these from when you were in high school? I'm like, no. Because those better not be from when. Oh my God. Terrible. And some people listening to the podcast are like, is that guy gay? And I'm like, we're still figuring it out. I don't think so, but you can never really rule anything out. But I did have a great weekend overall. I opened up I am just itching my nose. And I feel like anytime someone itches their nose once, everyone's like, that guy's on cocaine. I'm like, I've actually said no to it quite a lot. Cause I don't know if you know, it's back. We live in a time that's like, I've always said it's like the 80s, but I'm like, it really is kind of like the 80s again. And then good and bad, you know? So, but I had a great weekend. I did shows with John Lovitz all weekend, and I've opened for him before, but this weekend we really kicked it off. We really had fun. Seriously, it was good. And we were hanging out, and then he was like, hey, do you want to go grab dinner? And I was like, 100%. But I had another show. And so then I had to like do something. I was just like, because it's like, I was like, of course I want to hang out with an SNL legend, but I have another show to do. And I told him, and he was like, what? Fine. Like, he was joking. And then the next night I was like, hey, I don't have another show. And I was like, do you want to go to dinner? He goes, yeah. And I go, cool. I was like, I'd love dinner. He goes, I'm not stopping you. And I was like, let's go, dude. So then I got to go have dinner with John Lovitz. I ate sushi with the Love Man, and it was fun. It was so much fun. We talked about stand up. We talked about acting. We talked about comics. We both talked about chicks, which was actually funny because I feel like we both probably thought the other one was gay. Like when I'm talking to Lovitz, I'm like, I think he thinks I'm probably gay. And he's like, I bet this guy thinks I'm gay. And then we like show photos of girls just to be like, we're not gay. Like, he was like, my buddy's a realtor and he gets a lot. I was like, let's go. But we just had fun. I just love the guy. And we had a lot of fun. It was like, I was just telling him a story. And when all of a sudden you're just like, cause I feel like you kind of have to live in a world of like honesty where it's like, if you're trying to make another comic laugh who you don't know, that's a weird game of Jenga. It's a weird game of doing that. But if you're just be a person and just talk how you normally talk with your friends, and then all of a sudden when it happens, you're just like, dude, did I just make the guy from Rat Race laugh? But we were having fun, and I was telling him the story, and it made him laugh. And I was like, oh my God, dude, that's great. And then it was just like, it was nice. And then he started asking questions about me. He's like, you were really a firefighter? I was like, yeah. He's like, I think that's incredible. And I was like, what? I was like, yeah, dude. I was like, that's so nice because I think you're incredible. So it was an amazing time. It was an amazing time. And then we ordered sushi, and I kind of panicked, and I ordered quite possibly the worst sushi I've ever had in my life. And technically it was probably awesome, but I did my first bite, and I was just like, like I'm talking to John Lovitz about like, he's like explaining acting to me, and I'm like, did they put on jalapenos in it? He's like, the key to it's real simple. Real simple, kid. I just go, I literally put in a bunch of wasabi and the ginger at the same time to pens my cloud at. And then Cletus was our bartender, and he comes over and he's fucking but no, it was incredible. And then we were walking home, and like or to his house. Yeah, I fucked John Lovitz. No. No, I get to hang out with John. I was like walking him back. And then I get him like close enough and people will just like run up and be like, are you John Lovitz? And they're like, can I get a photo? And he takes photos. He's just, it's like, you know what I mean? And then I was like, do you want me to make sure you get inside? And he goes, no. And then he was like, I think he even brought it up. He's like, you asked for a photo for real. If you want to take a photo, I will. But then I was like, yeah. And I was like, we could do a video of you like saying no instead. And so he's like, yeah. And so I tried to do it like real honest, like as if my phone was just on. He's like, no, just like just make me say no. And I was like, all right. So he did it and he was like, no, like, yeah, he rules. It was fun, dude. I'm a very lucky guy. I kind of realized that I was like, there's so many people that I grew up like watching and stuff. And I've opened for him before, but it was so in like quick passing and it was kind of chaotic that we did not really get to like chat. We didn't really get to chat GPT, you know? And yeah, this time we did. And it was really nice. I think he could see that I was being really respectful of him and his time. And I had done it. He was like, he literally like after I got off stage, like I think like after the third time, he's like, dude, you're doing great. He's like, you're having a great night out there. Cause you do have to open for him and he's not clean, but you have to be clean. And some comics are like, it's impossible. And for me, I'm like, well, I kind of learned how to do it. And some things you can just clean up. Like sometimes if the joke isn't that about fucking, it can be clean. Not everything or whatever has to be like that or whatever. So it was like fun to get to do that and work with a legend. And then for it to work, like to have an audience laughing when you're like, are they going to fucking not like this? Cause it's not like how I normally tell it. I normally say fucking shit right here. So, but yeah, he told me some really incredible things. We were talking and he was like, here, watch. And like we did, I'm not going to bore you with it, but like it meant a lot to someone who like, I told him that. I was like, I've done like a little bit of acting, but I was like, it's incredible what you've done. Like someone had him sign that thing from when he was like, I honestly don't even know what it is because I didn't have cable or whatever, but when he's like a cartoon, whatever that show is, and people have him sign it, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, he did that. Like, you know, like I know him from certain things, but not that. What do I know him the most for? I feel like for sure SNL, but I feel like I always knew him from, what's that movie where they're like baseball players, but they have to get like a ragtag team? It's like, I think it's like David Spade, Nick Swardson, Rob Schneider, and it's like they go to his house and he's like a billionaire, right? That's the one. That's that from when I was a kid. Like that's the one I remember. But when we were walking and just talking about acting and him like trying to be like, you should, like, he was telling me books to read, and then he was telling me like certain things he knew, and then he was talking about auditions, and I think this is the part that I'll share with you guys that like resonates with anything. He's like, people always will watch, you know, someone who got a part instead of them or whatever, which you can relate to if you're like, I want to accomplish this or I want to do this, and then someone else gets it or a job promotion, whatever. And he was like, the way you get that is, and he was kind of telling me about this book that had like all these like different steps in it, but he was like, if you tell someone these steps, they're like, well, yeah, of course, if you did that, you'd get the job. And they're like, well, then why don't you take it that seriously every time? And if you do that, that's how you get better. That's how people take you more seriously. That's how people see you're doing the work. And then it kind of got more specific into talking about like acting and stuff, but just getting to talk to a guy who's been in like countless movies, been on Saturday Night Live, like said quotes that like I was texting people that I'm like open with them and they're all sending me like their favorite quotes, you know? So yeah, I'm a very lucky guy, and we had a lot of fun this weekend. Me and him did. It was very, 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 very cool. And I had fun at Cap City. So thank you to Cap City. They always have me and we always have so much freaking fun. So I loved it, and sold out most of my merch, and I need to get some new merch. And I had people send me stuff to the P.O. box. So thank you for sending me stuff. People who sent me stuff. Got some stuff here. Got some stuff back there. This is which one is this? This is one of those, what are they called? Pop-its? No, what is this called? A Funko Pop. Yeah. I got a Funko Pop from a buddy slash friend, buddy first, fan second. Okay, so there's 8 you can get. 2, 4. But yeah, you can get a bunch of them. But he sent me this one, I think just to be funny, which I love. And he sent me the Hermione Granger as a cat, which is very serendipitous to me. And if you want to send me something, you can to P.O. Box 1782-1. That's P.O. Box 1782-1, Austin, Texas. Can you see that? I can't. P.O. Box 17821, Austin, Texas 78760. That's P.O. Box 17. You heard it. And if not, you can rewind it. But yeah, he sent that to me. And when I was a kid, I had, I think, which ones do we have? We for sure had the second one. And I honestly think we had acquired the first one like at some point. And those are like definitely like they're not the worst ones, but like the first one, it sucks compared to the other ones when you're growing up. But the second one I had, like someone, you remember when DVDs, because it's like if part of it got fucked up, you couldn't read the data. The data got fucked up literally right at that part. So I was always like, what the hell happens between this and this? And then I had to have a friend tell me, and I remember watching that scene and being like, damn. So he sent me that, and I'm like, God, life is so serendipitous. And if you're like, that's a stupid story, I agree. But it was mostly to tell you that you can check it out and send me stuff at my P.O. Box at P.O. Box 17821. I should figure out a better way to say it. Austin, Texas 78760. If you send it anywhere else, you won't be a hero. You got to send it to me, or the hero will drown. Okay. I think we talked about everything. Did we talk? On this podcast, we have talked about everything. So we're done. I'm done. I'm over this. I don't need this shit anymore. I don't need this. You think I need this? I do. You think I need you to sign up for my Patreon? I do. You think I need you to buy my merch? I do. You think I need you to come see me on tour? I do. So I don't like need it. That's the episode. You're great. Kisses. Love you. Bye.